Oh, what do I do with it? Oh, do I leave it up there? Hey, nah. My nose tickles. It's bullshit. Greetings and salutations, everybody. My name is Michael Schwan. Today is Sunday, June 25th, 2023. Yes, we were here earlier, but we're back. This morning we went live to play a whole bunch of Final Fantasy 16, and boy, is that game a fucking ride. Dicks! Yes, fucking ride dicks. Hi, Lady Siege. Thank you for the 31 months. God damn. That game is a fucking ride. And we're going to continue that ride tomorrow. We'll be live again tomorrow morning, right around 9 a.m. to play some more Final Fantasy 16. If you have not been watching it up to this point, whether it's because you just couldn't catch it or you missed it, I totally understand. But the full playthrough, the Vods are, available right now on the Twitch channel, but they'll be available on the YouTube channel within like a week or so. So if you wanted to catch the full playthrough of that's how you're going to be able to do so. If we don't finish it tomorrow, we will finish it on Tuesday. And if we don't finish it on Tuesday, fuck, because I'm out of time at that point. We will address that problem if we get there, but I'm really hopeful that we finish it by Tuesday. Would I be upset if we didn't? Maybe. It really just depends on how much it starts to drag its feet, but it has not dragged its feet at all in like 25, 26 hours. So I don't think it's going to drag its feet too much, but we'll see. Today, though, we are going to talk a little bit about Final Fantasy 16. We'll do that later in the stream. We've had people... There's been this discussion online about whether Final Fantasy 16 is really a Final Fantasy game, and I really want to like weigh my thoughts on that and throw it on YouTube and see if anyone responds. We're going to be checking out some trailers as well today. Trailers for Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. That's a remake that's coming onto all platforms from a game that was back on the 3DS, I think, or maybe just the DS. Inner Ashes, Front Mission First Remake, and then two other pieces, which is going to be Final Fantasy 14 and Final Fantasy 14. But we're doing two different videos for Final Fantasy 14. One, if you're not aware, I'm going to be streaming Final Fantasy 14 next week, starting on Saturday morning, giving that 5 days, and we're going to see how far we can get in that 5 days. So we're going to be putting in about 8 hours a day, if we're able to, across Saturday through the following Wednesday, and hoping to get through the base original game's story, which is just A Realm Reborn Patch 2.0's content. That's what we're hoping to achieve. And so we're going to do one video, which is going to be checking out the trailers for Final Fantasy 14 like it was just a new game coming out. And then the other thing is that because Final Fantasy 14 is not a new game at all, it came out 13 years ago, we're also going to check out what did they call this? The starter guide series. There's a starter guide series that's 7 parts. Do I have all 7 parts? I do. And we're just going to watch the starter guide series and see what it's like. Now, I did say it came out like 12 or 13 years ago, but also keep in mind that the game that we play today is 10 years old because of the whole A Realm Reborn thing, because they completely restarted the game over entirely because it was a horrible failure at launch. But we'll talk about that more when we get there. I need to reopen Stream Raiders. I didn't realize I closed it from the stream earlier. We're also going to be running some Stream Raiders. If I remember correctly, Ghost Trick came out on DS in Japan, but by the time it released stateside, the 3DS was out. That sounds very plausible. Man, it's weird now that like so far and gone are away the days when there was regional releases. It still happens every now and again, but even when there's a delay between regional releases, at most it's like a week, right? But it used to be, it was months or years between one region getting a game and then it finally making it to the other regions. Whether that was, you know, the English localization or just copies of the game in general. Look at you, Yokai Watch. Yeah. About that though. Okay, so if you are new here, welcome in. Thank you for checking out the stream or the VOD. I appreciate you a lot. The way that this is going to work is we're going to do some reaction content. We're going to do some reaction to some videos and stuff. The way that it works, I'm going to read an intro off the top of my head, and then we're going to check out some trailers, and then we'll talk about the trailers, and then when it feels like the conversation's starting to come to a close or it's just time to go, I will read an outro, and then we'll make faces. Face gets used in the thumbnail, rinse and repeat, and we're going to do that a few times today. This all gets chopped up and put up onto the YouTube channel later. We do these live on stream because it makes for a more interactive and dynamic experience, both for myself as the content creator as well as people that'll be watching it later on YouTube. So there you go. That's the plan. That is the plan. All right. Let me get this open. Let me see if there's a good title card. Maybe on this one. We'll accept that one. Okay, everybody. And then we have these YouTube swans. If you have BTTV, you can use this first one. If you are a subscriber, you can use the second one. They're exactly the same. It's just two different ways to access it. It's just a way to say hi to the new YouTube video. You can use any other emote you want, though, whether it's from my channel, your channel, or anyone else. It's just a way to move the chat along, say hi to the video. It's kind of the process. Play Asia was such a good solution when it came to the DS, was not region locked. Some of my Ace Attorney games are also the Japanese release because of them. We did the exact same thing for Bayonetta, because when Bayonetta released on the PlayStation 3 back in 2008 or whatever it was, 2007, 2009, somewhere in that realm, we found out that the Japanese, so one place, it wasn't region locked, the PlayStations weren't region locked, and the Japanese copy had all of the English voices on it. We were like, well, why the fuck isn't it out in America yet? Like, it was released in Japan. You're not going to release it in America for 9 months, even though all of the English is already on the disc? Okay, can I just order it from Japan? And it costs like an extra like $12 or whatever to import it from Japan through Play Asia. But yeah, we just bought it and played it 9 months before the rest of America did. It was great. Loved it. All right, so let's get started. Like, if it didn't have the language on it, I would have understood of like, oh, well, maybe the localization isn't done yet, or they need to compile the English stuff. But the fact that it was just the same, I was like, I don't understand. Okay. Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwan, and today we are checking out Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Now, this game did originally release back in the day. Looks like this video in particular, from the original announcement trailer on Capcom's YouTube video at least, is from April of 2010. And in standard fashion around here, if a game has multiple versions, if it got remade or re-released or upgraded or ported, I try to find the old announcement trailers for the game if they exist, and we're going to watch those, and as well as watch the marketing media for the new release of it. And we're going to be doing the same thing here. So we have two of the old trailers, the old announcement and launch trailer, and then the media content for its remake, re-release, remaster. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. All right, so let's go. Nintendo DS. There we go. That answers that question. Old. Wasn't even the 3DS yet. Well, probably not anyway. I'm already dead. Oh, shit. This trailer's at a fantastic, like, 360p. Yeah, 360p. Good job. The most dignified death pose. Absolutely. Only the best for the best. crazy looking at how old trailers are compared to new ones. I will say that the way the quick text is bouncing around, it's kind of hard to follow what they're trying to, like, communicate. Probably help if I quit bouncing my head around, too. It's fine. It's fine. That's right. It's better this way. Okay, here's the launch trailer. Might affect things. Maybe just a bit. It was good music, though. Get hyped for Missile? It's the dog, right? The story starts with a death. Fuck. More specifically, mine. Because when it came to, I was already dead. I don't know if you can get your life back. You want your memories back? That's one thing. The dead can possess and manipulate inanimate objects. You're gonna kill this poor chef? Oh my god. Okay. What in the world just happened? I agree. The dude died to like a freaking fossilized Darmanitan. Dude was just trying to peek through the bushes and got executed by a rock Pokemon. I'm okay. This feels very Ace Attorney. It should. It's made by the same person. Okay, so now here is the initial reveal of the remake. Oh man, look at that picture quality. Interesting. The trailer is the, at least at this point, basically, is the exact exact same trailer. Wondering how it'll feel since so much was touchscreen. Yeah. I mean, the Switch version might still have touch controls, right? Okay, well, this is now different. Why are we just... Man, our poor body just got tossed there. Use ghost tricks to escape your fate, like our own fate? I'm pretty sure we're dead. Motherfucker just shot the bicycle, scared him. I wonder how many Rue Goldman machines or mechanics will be in this. I don't know. Oh my goodness, look at that little Popo. Oh. Oh, geez. This is a destructive little dog. Well, I'm pretty sure I just saw, like, Phoenix Wright in one of these little clips here. I could see him making a cameo appearance. Featuring high-resolution graphics and brand new features, such as illustrations. Collect images and music from the game to enjoy at any time. Play your favorite songs and relive moments from the game. Over 20 songs available. Solve new ghost puzzles. Trick time. Coming summer 2023, as in June 30th, 2023. Comes out very, very soon. All right, here's the pre-order trailer. It's a long pre-order trailer. This bitch 3.5 minutes long.
Use your powers of the dead to uncover the truth about your death. Ghost Trick, the classic mystery game from Ace Attorney creator Shu Takumi, is being reborn.
This also makes a cameo in
The game
Ace Attorney.
release on June 30th, 2023. One night in a dark corner of the city, a man named Sissel is shot and killed. He reawakens as a soul and realizes
How many people have
he's lost
massive
his memory
crushes
and
on
his
Lynn?
life. Who was I? Who killed me? And why did I have to die? These are the mysteries he's trying to solve with the powers of the dead. Sissel has two basic abilities: possessing objects in the ghost world, and then tricking them in the real world. A hitman is after the red-headed target, Lynn. Use the powers of the dead to get her out of wild predicaments. The key to changing fate is possessing and tricking all sorts of objects.
I
Sissel
love
will
that he
face
just
death
shoots
in
the
many
fucking
forms.
bicycle.
Use the powers of the dead to go back 4 minutes before someone's death. Changing their fate will change the story. And that story must be linked in some way to the mystery of Sissel's death. This board includes updated high-res graphics, increased frame rate, and an optimized user
No better
interface.
inspiration than your own lovable dog, right?
Check out the new challenges feature. You can earn illustrations and music from the game by meeting certain conditions.
Man, I wish I could solve these little slide puzzles as fast as this person just did. Jeez.
In addition, all 37 tracks from the game have newly arranged versions. You can switch between the original and new versions as you play.
Oh, that's cool.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shu Takumi, the writer and director of the original Ghost Trick game.
Hello.
We're thrilled to share the release date with you all. I'm incredibly excited to revisit Ghost Trick. We had Yasumasa Kitagawa from the Great Ace Attorney series handle the music. He did incredible work remastering the original songs to match the new graphics. We've also added original music from composer Masakazu Sugimori to celebrate the new version of the game. I hope you enjoy these new songs.
Well, the songs in
story of
your
lost
trailers have
lives
kicked
and
ass.
lost memory all in a single night. Ghost Trick will be reborn in high resolution with new music on June 30th, 2023 for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam. Pre-orders are now available. Check out the official website for information.
Ace Attorney
about
music
the
always goes
pre-order
hard. I've
bonus.
never actually played one.
Please stay tuned.
I think I own the remastered or remade first trilogy on Steam. No, never. I owned a 3DS, but I didn't play it much. For the most part, it was like an RPG and well, I did play it a decent bit, but it was mostly for RPGs and for Pokemon. All right, here's the demo and demonstration trailer. I love that the pre-order trailer was longer than the demo and demonstration trailer.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
I'm Shu Takumi, the original creator of Ghost Trick. It's almost time for the game's release, and I can't wait for you to play it.
Man,
First,
your English is
let's
great.
Start with this.
Thank you. I played the original trilogy and Apollo on DS. I never owned a DS, is one thing. I never owned an original Game Boy. Did I even have a Game Boy Color, or did I not even get one of those until the Game Boy Advance?
This classic mystery game is being reborn.
Now I'm trying to remember. I don't think I ever got a Game Boy Color either.
Using
I
the
think I
powers of
went
the dead,
from a
he
Sega
tries to
Game
solve the
Gear
mystery of his
that
own
was
death.
used
The only
to
clue
a
he
Game Boy
has is a
Advance.
red-headed detective.
And then I
A
didn't
night
get
of mystery
anything.
begins anew.
Then I went from a Game Boy Advance to a
rookie
PSP.
detective, brimming with a
And then I
sense
went
of
from a
justice.
PSP to a Nintendo
She, too, is
3DS.
being targeted,
And I bought the
and
PSP
Sissel
and the
witnesses
3DS
her death.
myself.
Who was I? Why was I killed? Who killed me? And what does it mean that I was given these
They're
powers
fun
of the
games. They're
dead?
really charming. Okay.
Use the powers of the dead to possess and trick items. The controls are easy. Connect Sissel's glowing blue soul to the core of objects to possess them. Possess the tire. Possess the bowl. Possess
I want
the
to
Star Order.
possess a bowl.
You can then trick the objects you possess. Trick the guitar to play it. What will happen when you trick the cart?
You
Trick
feed the dog.
door to open it. Possessing and tricking objects will let you access new areas. Sissel can go back 4 minutes before someone's death. What happened before her murder? Those clues are hidden in the past. Follow past events in real time. The limit, however, is 4 minutes. Help people avoid near-death predicaments and change their fates. Sissel
buy
will
yourself
face
some more
death in
time.
Many forms. Changing their fates will change the story. And that story must be linked in some way to the mystery of Sissel's death. Ghost Trick, launching on June 30th, 2023. Demo version available now.
But do you ever get the chance to solve
miss
your
the
own death?
pre-order-
I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, right? Part of it is trying to solve your own death of what happened. But I don't think you can bring yourself back by any means, because that would require you to go back in time before your own death, which I don't think you could do because you need to be a ghost. Who knows? It's anime. Rules don't always actually exist or apply. Harvey Birdman, also a good Ace Attorney knockoff game. Wasn't that also a TV show? Harvey Birdman? Or am I thinking of Space Ghost, Coast to Coast? But I also feel like those two always crossovered. Like, they addressed that at the beginning. Good to know. Thanks, Tag. Am I delusional? Didn't Harvey Birdman and Space Ghost cross over a lot? They did cross over? Okay. It was also a show? It's a game based on the show? Okay, cool. All right. I have not great memories from, like, pre-18 years old. So, like, all of my years growing up, a whole lot of that is clouded for a myriad of reasons. And that's when, like, I remember watching Harvey Birdman and Space Ghost. So it's very vague, like, blurry images and little clips here and there. And I was like, my brain makes them the same show, but it might be just because I saw the crossovers way too many times, because I feel like it was Adult Swim that aired the crossover episodes of Harvey Birdman and Space Ghost more than any of the normal episodes of those shows. But I could just be misremembering that too. Either way, so that's Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective, brought back from the dead. I know there's a lot of people that are really excited about this show. This game has a massive following. Well, I wouldn't say massive, a very devout following. Very, very devout, because I saw people talking about this game all the damn time before this remake was even announced. I don't know if I just ended up in the right, like, internet spheres or whatever, but there's some beloved fans of this game. And then I saw those same people having proverbial meltdowns on Twitter over it. So there's got to be something good about it, right? Capcom published the game even? Oh, the Harvey Birdman game? I mean, yeah, I mean, they're like, hey, that's basically our stuff. Here, we'll help you out. Anyway, so yeah, that's Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. I'm also really glad it's available on everything, because that was one of the issues with a lot of games over the years, is about availability on platforms, because, like, one of the reasons I probably missed Ghost Trick as well as, like, Ace Attorney is because if they were just DS games, like we just talked about, I didn't have one. And if I don't see, I'm also in the age of the time, right? Like, you were really reliant back then in like the mid to late 2000s, or just even earlier than that, right? We didn't have YouTube, right? YouTube didn't exist until 2006 and didn't really start taking off until a few years after that. And with that in mind, like, you were reliant on like trying to watch E3 if you were able to, and hoping that you got to see the stuff on E3, and that's if you were able to catch E3 in any way. Or you were like going to GameStop to watch the TV at GameStop, or if it was a big enough release that it got an ad on like Cartoon Network or something like that. Or it was the luck of the draw when you were in the game store. Didn't matter which one. Are you in EB Games? Are you in GameStop? Are you in the Walmart games aisle? Are you at Just for Fun, used games, whatever, right? And you're like, and you're going purely off of the box. You had no way. You'd be like, if you were really lucky, game magazines, yeah, because Game Informer and Nintendo Power, you could also get some advertisements through those as well. There was probably more game magazines. Those are the only two that I was ever aware of, was Game Informer and Nintendo Power. I had a whole lot of Game Informer magazines. But I remember there was one used game store where I grew up that I really liked going there, because they would leave the manual to the game in the box. GameStop never did. They wouldn't leave the manual in the box because they were afraid people would steal them. But the used game store did, and so you could look at the game manual, and that would give you a much better idea of if you actually wanted this used game or not. So anyway, mini chat rooms. I wasn't in very many chat rooms, but I was... Yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. It looks cute, looks fun, looks like an entertaining time. To use Tag's word, charming. Looks charming. Comes out on June 30th. So let me know what your thoughts are. Are you a big Ghost Trick fan? If so, how excited are you? If this is your first time like really taking a look at this game, if you missed it like I did, how do you feel about it? Does it look like something that you might try out? Let me know in the comments down below. If you can't tell, I like to talk, and I'd love to talk some more. If you want to talk with me, and two great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. Hit me up and let's have a conversation. Much like the conversation we've been having with chat, because this video is recorded live on stream, because we do stream on Twitch 4 days a week, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you do watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. I lived online in the early 2000s. So back to that whole thing about trying to remember. I was probably playing RuneScape. Honestly, around that time, like early 2000s, I was probably playing fucking RuneScape. So I don't remember. I was not looking for many things beyond RuneScape. I do know that for some of the other games that I played, I would dabble in like wasn't on many forums, but that was back in the day where games still had cheat codes. So you'd find me on cheatplanet.com or GameFAQs. And I know that GameFAQs had and still has message forums. I was never there for the forums. I was just there for the guides, right? Admittedly, though, I hate reading GameFAQ guides because they're all written in fucking ASCII, and my brain does not like reading ASCII text. Like, just the pages of fucking GameFAQ guides, they're good guides most of the time, but I hate the font they use. It's fucking ugly, and they still today use that font. ASCII art is one thing. I can appreciate a singular piece of ASCII art, but the whole page being written in ASCII, no. Get out of here. I don't want that garbage poo-poo. Poo-poo-poo. You haven't, what happens if you go to Cheat Planet right now? What is it? Cheatplanet.com. Let me go over here just in case it's like naughty. Whoa! It redirected to Games Radar? Really? Cheatplanet.com. Redirected to Games Radar. Wow. Interesting. I'm shocked. That was not what I was guessing would happen. What happens if I just Google Cheat Planet? There's Cheat Code Central. It's in the Internet Archive. This one is from 2006. It doesn't want to load very well. There it is. There's that Cheat Planet. Cheatplanet.com and our nostalgia. Cheat CC was the bomb. Yeah, I bet Cheat CC was the bomb, but see, here's the thing. I knew about Cheat Planet, so I used Cheat Planet. Tag. No. Tag. No. Bad. Naughty. Stop it. You're not getting me with that for like a fourth time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me thrice, fuck, I'm a moron. Like, Jesus. I didn't even know what it would be. You're right. Oh, Lord. All right. Athena with the healers. Thank you for the placements, Arrow Garfield and Athena. I appreciate it a lot. All right, this one's a skin chest. Skin chest. Okay, we'll do one more, and then we'll talk about Final Fantasy 16 because we need to have a conversation about it. It will be mostly non-spoilery, but just as a heads up, that's what is on the docket next. I need a new hat. That's fine. Deadpool, come here. All right, everyone, put in your YouTube swans, your Pog swans, your Reese swans, or whatever other emote fits your fancy, whether it's from my channel, your channel, or anyone else's. Just a way to say hi to the new YouTube video before we get started. All right, and here we go. Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwan, and today we are checking out Inner Ashes. Now, I do believe that this game has some very heavy themes in it. Primarily, I do believe that I read that there is somebody that dealing with like Alzheimer's or something like that in this. So, but we'll find out. That's what we're here for. I don't have a whole lot of other information on the game, but that is what we are going. Yeah, early on it said Alzheimer's. It is a walking simulator, story-rich atmosphere game. Sounds like a whole bunch of feelings, but it's getting ready to come out. So let's see how it looks. Welp, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, big mood. Can love survive through memory loss? Could dementia be a new challenge for forgiveness? Well, those are already two depressing questions. Damn. Yeah, I believe you. This is early alpha footage. Real pretty, though. I like that logo. I like that so many walking simulators are. We're going to make you feel all the feels, and if you cry, well, our work here is done. Here's the official trailer.
Es cierto. No suelo hablar sobre mi padre. Todavía no puedo evitar pensar que todo lo que pasó años atrás fue por su culpa. Aún así, desde que me enteré de su
The art
enfermedad,
direction has
mi
evolved.
cabeza sigue volviendo a esos recuerdos.
The rails leading off into nothing are both like really pretty, but when you know the theme of the game is also really depressing.
Es complicado, no sé. Quizás es el momento de dejar el pasado atrás. O de volver a él.
Have you ever wondered how could it be to lose your memory, your skills, and even your personality? There is a disease that affects your brain, causing all these symptoms, Alzheimer's. Inner Ashes is a narrative adventure told in a first-person basis, which aims to put you in Henry's shoes, shortly after doctors diagnosed him with early-onset Alzheimer's.
It's really pretty.
Our story begins when Henry receives a letter from his daughter, Enid, and he tries to remember what happened between them. The only thing that he knows is that they haven't heard from each other for a long time. The player will accompany Henry during a journey through his own thoughts to relive key memories of his life and try to find out why they have been separated for so long.
The game mechanics and environment will make the player experience the issues that Henry needs to overcome on a daily basis. He will strive to gather his thoughts and find how to solve the puzzles of his memories. Henry's world is divided in two different realities. The real one, represented by his house, and his own mind, represented by several dreamlike islands that reflect the evolution of his psyche as the disease becomes more severe. In order to progress in the game, the player will use two elements that are key for people who suffer from Alzheimer's disease. Post-it notes, which allowed Henry to remember names of objects and how to use them, and tangram puzzles, which stimulate his mind and unlock key memories of his relationship with Enid.
The scenarios and game flow in the islands will show the player several Alzheimer's symptoms that are related to brain deterioration, such as disorientation, mood changes, or short-term memory loss. In the real world, the player will experience several physical symptoms. Alzheimer's doesn't affect only Henry's mind, it also affects his physical skills, as well as his coordination and mobility. In Henry's house, some objects have been adapted to enable him to perform his daily activities. In addition, throughout the game, the player will find some documents, which progressively supplement the information about Henry's treatment. From the very beginning, the project aimed to deliver a message, beyond telling a story, to give visibility to the experience of a person
Alzheimer's fucking
suffering from
sucks.
Alzheimer's.
That's the message that we wanted to
We couldn't have
convey.
done it on our own. Several professionals helped us to capture the disease symptoms as truthfully as possible. This involved an additional effort to find the balance between mechanics and storytelling, since we wanted to learn and interpret the feelings of a person suffering from Alzheimer's through the symbology of the scenarios. Fear, frustration, confusion, that aura that surrounds the story, the settings and the music, alongside the narrative treatment itself, makes the story we want to tell a unique experience that only a video game can provide.
We are Calafea Game Studio, an independent game studio from Spain. Our goal is to create games that add value to society. We strongly believe that video games have a definite social impact, and as creators, it's our responsibility to make it positive and memorable. Currently, we are developing our first title, Inner Ashes, which bears our commitment with inclusivity and visibility. We strive to include collectives that are usually not represented in video games. Thanks our collaboration with PlayStation Talents program, you will enjoy Inner Ashes next year.
2 years have passed since Calafea Game Studio was born, and since then, we have done a lot of stuff to show our project to the world. We have visited a lot of events, such as Madrid Games Week, Game Lab or Game Jam. We've also participated in a PlayStation official YouTube streaming, featuring the PlayStation Game Camp titles. And our biggest achievement yet, we won the PlayStation Special Commitment Award at the PlayStation Award Gala 2019.
Congratulations.
We are especially proud of this acknowledgement since it fuels our desire to continue with the version we have of video games and their values. We are very close to reach the end of our journey with Inner Ashes, but we need your help for this last step. If you are a publisher and can help us with localization, porting or founding, please contact us.
Be a hard balance
And
to do
if
this.
you are someone who wants to
It definitely would. Okay, here's the narrative trailer.
Me llamo Henry Hughes. Era guarda forestal. Me sigue resultando extraño decir esto en voz alta, sobre todo sin nadie en casa que me escuche. Aún así me obligo a hacerlo cada día para poner en orden mis pensamientos y para no olvidar, supongo. Hoy he recibido una carta suya, de Enid, de mi hija. Es la primera vez que tengo noticias de ella desde hace años. No sé ni cómo reaccionar. ¿La reconocería si la viera ahora? Quiero pensar que sí, pero ya me cuesta decir qué puedo hacer y qué no. Intento hacer caso a su mensaje y acordarme de los buenos momentos que pasamos juntos, como si fuera tan fácil hacer memoria. Cada vez que lo intento, mi mente me devuelve imágenes confusas, pero he de lograrlo. La encontraré en mis recuerdos, mientras duren.
Looks like it'll be well done, but hard to play for some. I'm sure that's exactly it. I also hope that in the near future, it's not a problem that we have to worry about anymore. In the last handful of years, there's been some serious breakthroughs and developments in the potential treatment, preventative measures, and even potential cures for Alzheimer's. I remember it was a couple years ago, I think, that there was a big major announcement from a lab in Japan that thinks that they have figured it out, which is awesome, right? Fucking science, man. All right, here's the final official trailer for the game. There's a weird logo at the front.
My name is Henry Hughes.
Oh, you have it in English.
I was a forest ranger. It still seems strange to me to say this out loud, especially with no one at home listening.
I honestly expected the whole game to be in Spanish, and I would have been fine with that.
Every day to put my thoughts in order, and not to forget, I guess. Today I received a letter from her, from Enid, from my daughter.
I think it's the same trailer, but I'm gonna watch it anyway.
Well,
oh no, it's slightly different.
For years. I don't even know how to react. Would I recognize her if I saw her now? I want to think so, but it's already hard for me to say what I can or can't do. I try to heed her message and remember the good times we had together. As if it was so easy to remember. Every time I try, my mind returns confusing images.
This is cool.
But I have to do it. I will find her in my memories. While they last.
I'm fine. I'm fine. You're fine. I'm not crying. You're crying. God. It reaches more audience this way. Some people would turn their nose up at an only in Spanish game. You are unfortunately correct. Like, I hate that that's true. because people suck in such a way. But yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's also weird how some people have such a weird bias in that way, because when it comes to the space of video games, some people are absolutely happy to play a game that's in Japanese with English subtitles, but won't play a game in Spanish with English subtitles because of reasons that I don't feel like getting into on this video. Anyway, so that's Inner Ashes. That looks like a journey that I can't go on, because thinking about this game makes me want to cry. I don't feel like crying my way through this game. Especially because Alzheimer's and things like mental degradation, that's a scary topic in just general, because I like myself, as like narcissistic and arrogant as that sounds. I like me. And the idea of losing who I am through something that is outside of my control, because my brain just is failing itself because of forces that there was nothing that was, prompting it. That's less than awesome. But there's a few things that, like, one, I do agree with their missive of wanting to make Alzheimer's more apparent to people, right? And I think that games like this are also really good, because if you know somebody or are yourself going through this can, if done correctly and done well, which it feels like they're presenting it well, can give you a bit of a window that you might not otherwise be able to possibly have into what that experience could be like. And it might be something that's good, in as much of a good is a relative term, that is beneficial. If you are close to somebody that is going through Alzheimer's, you could play through this game you definitely couldn't be in their shoes, but to get a small glimpse of what it is that they're going to be going through. And that can help you support them in a lot of ways. So I wanted to play this, but I have to be in a pretty good place before attempting it. Yeah, I agree. But that's Inner Ashes, everybody. Let me know what your thoughts are. How do you feel just as a game in general, or if you or somebody you know has had to go through something along these lines, how does that make you feel as something that is going to exist now? This game releases on June 30th, 2023. So depending on when you're watching this video, it might already be out. So yeah, let me know. I do like to talk, and I'd love to talk some more. If you want to talk with me, two great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. Just hit me up on either of those platforms and let's have a conversation, much like the conversation we've been having in chat, because we do stream on Twitch, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. Okay, well, that was a thing that happened. Okay, here's what I want to see if I can find. Final Fantasy 16 trailers playlist. Does that exist? Yeah, it does. Okay. Let's see. What screen do I want? Not that one. Not that one. Sure, we can do this one. That's fine. This one's fine. Okay, we're gonna have a little bit of a here. Let me get this set up and ready the way that I want it. Turn this down. Make that big. Turn it down nice and low. Turn off subtitles.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant. And only.
There we go. Okay, so we're gonna have a hopefully a short conversation about a discussion point that I've been seeing around the interwebs on Reddit and Twitter. And yes, I realize that Reddit and Twitter are are what they are, okay? They're Reddit and Twitter, you know, and they have opinions, and so do I, damn it. So the topic at hand is that Final Fantasy 16 released just a little shy of a week ago, and there is people trying to claim that Final Fantasy 16 is not a Final Fantasy game. And that just confuses me immensely. And none of the people that are making this claim seem to be able to very easily articulate what it is that is defining that defines a Final Fantasy game for them. Okay, now I have been playing Final Fantasy 16. I'm right around like 25 hours of the way through it. Judging by just what I know of the game and the way that everything is going, I'd probably say I'm around 66 to 75% of the way through the game. And what are you talking about when you try to claim that this game isn't a Final Fantasy game? Now, disclaimer, this guy right here, massive tool when it comes to Final Fantasy, okay? Giant fucking nerd when it comes to that entire franchise. The franchise has shaped a large part of my life, but that doesn't mean that I am just objectively blind to some of the failings of the series, okay? Like, when I think of a game that is a Final Fantasy game that doesn't feel like a Final Fantasy game, there is one of those that exists, and it's even a mainline game, and that's Final Fantasy 12, okay? Final Fantasy 12 is an excellent JRPG, but it is not a very large Final Fantasy game. Like, a lot of the things that I think of when I think of Final Fantasy are very absent in Final Fantasy 12. And it has nothing to do with the combat system. I know, right, Lady Siege? Me, a Final Fantasy nerd? Never. How would you tell? How would you tell? I tried to grab the Final Fantasy hat. It didn't exist, so you get a KDA hat instead. But yeah, like, Final Fantasy 12... and I can even articulate why it's not as much of a Final Fantasy game to me as a lot of the other games in the franchise, okay? And that is that Final Fantasy 12, in so many ways, is hyper-fixated on the political intrigue of the story and the game and the world that it's in. And not that there aren't politics. There's normally always lots of politics in Final Fantasy, but so much of it is focused on the politics itself. And also on that same note, at the end, you aren't really solving a world problem, you're just solving a political one. Whereas when I think of Final Fantasy, there's a lot of things that come into mind, but one of the things that also comes brightest to the forefront is not just the Moogles, the crystals, the chocobos. It is the story itself and the way that that story progresses and the way that that story ends, okay? Because Final Fantasy games, they sometimes start small, but they normally always end comically over-the-top, obnoxious games, right? It never fails that you're like, okay, well, you know, I'm just trying to survive my battle squall. And then by the end, I'm killing God. Or, you know what? I'm just a lonely mercenary. And by the end, I'm killing God. Or, man, I'm sure glad I escaped slavery. What do I do with my life now? Well, I met this cool thief and now I'm killing God. Or, man, I was just playing a cool game of water soccer and I'm just trying to, what the fuck is happening to my city? And then by the end, I'm killing God. Like, that's how they all go. I'm just a soldier who doesn't like the way that my city works anymore, and I'm trying to figure out what happened to my sister. And by the end, I'm killing God. Oh, I'm going on a fucking bachelor's trip with my 3 best bros because I gotta go get married. And what happens at the end? I'm killing God. Sort of. Like, that's just the way that it goes. That's how they all go, save for Final Fantasy 12, okay? And that's why I point that one out especially. There's some other big mainstays, of course, and it's mostly kind of like the items I rattled off earlier. Normally there's some form of magic. In some case, way, shape, or form, you normally have some sort of high fantasy, flintlock fantasy, or modern fantasy setting. Chocobos, cactuars, Moogles, crystals are normally always involved. And that's fine. And I'm 25 hours through Final Fantasy 16, and this game is one of the most Final Fantasy-ass Final Fantasy games I have played in my entire fucking life. Like, it takes so many things from so many of the past Final Fantasy games. There are so many callbacks. If you have played through this series, you'll be going through this game and be like, that feels very Final Fantasy this. That feels very Final Fantasy 7. I see some aspects of 6 there. That feels kind of like Final Fantasy 13. There's even some Final Fantasy 12 in there. Like, they're all there. The only thing that is, like, so far that I can tell that is really, really absent from Final Fantasy 16, mind you, I'm not all the way through it, but I'm pretty confident that these don't exist, is minigames. And Final Fantasy has kind of been moving away from those. There was normally side games or mini games around the PlayStation era, but some of the older Final Fantasy games didn't have them. And once we got around to the PlayStation 3 and forward, which is the 13 trilogy, as well as Final Fantasy 15, there wasn't really many games anymore, and that's fine. But there's like not even a fishing mini game, which kind of surprised me. Like, as far as I can tell, there's just like 0 mini games in Final Fantasy 16. But one of the people that I also think said it best is the producer of Final Fantasy 16 himself, which is Yoshi P, okay? Which Yoshi P leads Creative Business Unit 3. He made Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn and has been managing its directive forward. He basically saved Square Enix as a company, and he is the lead for Final Fantasy 16. And when somebody asked him, what do you believe makes up a Final Fantasy game? His answer was this, and I will read it to you verbatim, okay? My answer is simple. You need to have the best story. You need to have the best graphics. You need to have the best battle system. You need to have a lot of content. You need to have the chocobos, and you need to have the Moogles, and you need to have great sound. And that makes a Final Fantasy. And if you're missing even one of them, the fans will hate you forever. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually a really good answer, okay? That's pretty damn good. And it doesn't even need to be that all of those are like always at the forefront, right? It can just be, hey, there's a chocobo. Like in Final Fantasy 13, you never really like ride a chocobo. But there is one point in the game where you're at a place and there's some chocobos around and you're like, hey, chocobos, cool. I'm in a Final Fantasy game, right? They don't have any big meaning to the story. They barely show up at all, but they exist. Same thing to be said for Moogles. Same thing to be said for Cactuars. Same thing to be said for Tonberries. Like, that's just the way that those are some of the signifiers of Final Fantasy. He talks about you need to have the best battle system. I would say the Final Fantasy game with the weakest battle system by far is Final Fantasy 15, okay? But that is probably subject to a lot of debate because some people will be like, doesn't matter, they've all been shit since Final Fantasy 10. We haven't had turn-based in 22 fucking years, and the gameplay sucks now. Get over yourself. There's so many really great turn-based RPGs that exist out there. Go play Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. Go play Dragon Quest. Go play Octopath Traveler 2. Go play I Am Setsuna. Most of what I just mentioned is even made by Square Enix, save for Yakuza. There are lots and lots and lots of turn-based RPGs out there. They're just not called Final Fantasy anymore. Okay? Don't worry. If that's what you need, you can still have it. And guess what? A lot of those, they play the same way. You end up, well, I'm just trying to be a good mercenary and I got hired to go kill somebody. And by the end, we're killing God. I'm just a thief trying to get by in the world. And then I met this other weirdo. And now by the end, I'm killing God. Like, they're still there. They're just not called Final Fantasy anymore. And you're not looking for them, okay? I've found them. They're great. I love turn-based RPGs. I enjoy them profusely, but I also strongly enjoy Final Fantasy games. In Final Fantasy 16, the combat is so much fun. It also looks great. The combat is really engaging. It's beautiful to look at. The world is stunning. The characters are incredible. They're so well written. They're multidimensional. They feel like such tangible people that have flaws, and they feel like people. And the story is great. It is gripping and engaging, and I just cannot believe how incredible of a game that this is. And as I'm going through it, I am continuously stunned at every moment that this is a game that I am getting to play today. I have sat there and cried. Not because the story was emotional. Mind you, it fucking is, okay? In 25 hours, I have probably cried 50 times. It's not that hard to make me cry, but that's not the point, okay? The point is that this story will hurt you and harm you, and you will not be able to get it out of your head, because that is just the way that game's story is. Good God, does it want to hurt you, okay? But even beyond that, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, there have been moments where I was playing through this game and I just paused and I felt overwhelmed, because I was like, wow, I'm getting to play this right now. This exists. I'm getting to exist at the same time as this game. I'm getting to exist at the same time as Final Fantasy 16, and Final Fantasy 16 is one of the most definitive Final Fantasy games that I have ever played. There is hardly any aspect that I can think of what in my brain defines a Final Fantasy game that is not present in Final Fantasy 16. And so I truly do not have any idea what you're talking about when you say that Final Fantasy 16 is not a Final Fantasy game. And by all means, if you can break it down for me in the comments as to what you think is missing or lacking in this title, I would love to try to understand where you are coming from, because for the life of me, I cannot see it. Because I can pick out things in other titles that feel like there is something of Final Fantasy missing, and none of those things are missing here. Just let me know. And maybe drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and drop me a sub if you want to see future videos like this one, as well as a bunch of other content. Okay, thanks, bye! All right. That's done. That's done. All right. That battle should be just about ready. Oh, 11 seconds. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. All right, I need to change shirts. I wanted to change shirts for that video and I didn't, so we'll go change shirts now. I'll be right back. All right, time for that loyalty skin chest. Yeah, I got the Raptor Rogue. Thank you. 200 gold. It can be yours for 420 channel points. Most kills going to myself, followed by Athena. Narakin Tummy. The gold. We'll just go straight for the boss. No reason not to. All right, we need to protect the Kong. Place units, everybody. Oh! All right. On to the next one. Let's do the Final Fantasy 14 stuff next. And I want to wear this hat for those. Fucking nerd. There we go. Oh, this is gonna need some more volume though. Hang on. Let me up the volume on these videos. There we go. All right. All right, everyone, put in your YouTube swans, your Pog swans, your Re swans, or whatever other emote fits your fancy, whether it's from my channel, your channel, or anyone else's. Just way to say hi to the new YouTube video. This one's gonna be kind of neat, I think. Also, I know it was 37 minutes ago, but thank you for the hydrate, Lady Siege. Okay, here we go. Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwan, and today we are checking out Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Now, there's one very special reason why we're doing this. One is that I have only barely played Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, and it was years ago, okay? But this Saturday, July 1st, I am beginning a journey on Final Fantasy XIV. My goal is to get through the main story quest, and I am taking 5 days and trying to play about 8 hours each day. So we got 40 hours to hopefully get through as much of the main story quest as possible, with our target being to complete at least the original 2.0 or whatever that equals content of A Realm Reborn. I don't think we'll get through all the patch content. My goal isn't to do so. My goal is to get to level 60, I believe, and to see the main story quest of the original A Realm Reborn. And with that said, that's why we are here to check out the original marketing trailers for A Realm Reborn. But I have a little bit extra here too. We are going to check out the trailer for Final Fantasy XIV Online, which was back in the 1.0 days before the game got reset. Because, quick minor history lesson, Final Fantasy XIV Online was a major flop for Square Enix. It almost bankrupted the company when Yoshi P, currently the lead for Final Fantasy XIV, took over for Creative Business Unit 3 and scrapped the whole project and started it over. And they even had a special cinematic just for that. And I have that here as well. But I want to see the original trailers before it became A Realm Reborn. That was really hard to find, because trying to find Final Fantasy XIV content that is old, that isn't from A Realm Reborn or newer from the last 10 years, was really difficult. I found two, okay? I have the Final Fantasy XIV E3 trailer from 2010, which I'm pretty confident is probably one of the initial reveals, and then I have the 1.0 trailer. So this should be the trailer for the game's initial launch, essentially. So let's go back in time. Let's get started. That 2010 resolution. All whopping. Oh, this one's in 720p at least. It's a very noisy 720p. Bo 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 chicka bo. So when this came out, I was already playing World of Warcraft. I'm really curious how Final Fantasy fans, after Final Fantasy 13, received another MMO. Because Final Fantasy 11 already existed and was already ongoing and was receiving active support. When Final Fantasy 11, so Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14 existed alongside one another for a really long time. I think you can even actually still play Final Fantasy 11. Did that Lalafell just leap onto that running chocobo? I'm impressed. Oh, it's so blurry. Ifrit, you're really ugly. So good, we had to show the logo twice. Coming 2010. Eorzea awaits. Whew. Well, given that the game was largely a failure, I wonder that can probably tell me a little bit of how the game was received. Okay, so this is the 1.0 trailer. Oh man, this is at full 1080p. What are you guys playing? Guys playing Magic the Gathering?
Very well.
How long must we wait? I grow weary of the company.
The feeling, my dear, is mutual.
Aha! What do we have here? No job is too daunting as long as the coin is good.
Bah, you'd sell your own mother if the coin was good.
My father, too. Now quiet down and help me decide.
I've no particular preference.
And why does that not
So
surprise
this
me?
guy, right? He's in all of the trailers. He's supposed to be us, right? He's just the
Choose as
warrior
you
of
will,
light.
Midlander.
This beast's
Our
in a
fate
frenzy the likes I've never seen.
Look out! He's right on top of us!
This dude is also aged across the trailers because he's the same dude that I saw in like the Shadowbringers trailer or something like that. It's crazy looking at this trailer from like 2010, right? And being like, you know, this looks really good, but this is like a full cinematic trailer from like Square Enix back in the day. And this is just what Final Fantasy 16 looks like playing it. Final Fantasy 16 actually probably looks even better than this cinematic trailer. I've put like 25 hours into 16. It's freaking great, and it's absolutely beautiful. Good job, guy. Good job. Man, sprinting in like shin-high water would suck ass. You're trying to do like nimble movements in shin-high water suck. It is not that easy to run in water that is that deep. And you might not think it's that deep until you try to sprint in it. Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 14, 1.0. This is the trailer for the original game. Oh, that sucks. Now you're gonna meet a really awful end. Oh. Okay. Those are some weird airships. Is it even an airship? Did you have a good nap? Oh no. I think something's wrong. Yeah, something's definitely wrong. You're finally awake. Looks nothing even like Skyrim. Is that airship alive? Well, those are alive. Well, not anymore. They are very quickly dying. Oh. Guys, above you. I realize you know, but... Is that supposed to be Leviathan? Bahamut? Didn't look dragony enough to be Bahamut, but it did kind of look Leviathan-y. Oh no, that could be Bahamut-y. Yeah, who knows? Feels kind of like it could be Bahamut. Feels like Bahamut. Look, you know, kind of got powers like Bahamut. Bahamut is not entertained by your airship bullshit. Oh, this is how I die. You got a parachute? It's getting weirder. Yes, Rolly, you said this is chaotic. Now it's getting weird. Don't take that job.
Look who's returned from his reverie.
Don't take that job. Throw that job away.
So nice of you to join us again.
Yeah, don't take that one.
Well, don't keep us in suspense.
This one.
What? No!
Let's start with this one.
Ah, he speaks.
Can we go now?
If I looked at that and had that vision, fuck no. Dude is just excited to march off to his death, I guess. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Okay. So I don't know if that was the launch trailer. It was only listed as the 1.0 trailer. I tried really hard to find some of the trailers for Final Fantasy XIV Online. No. But so that game existed for like a year and a half or so and was not well received. Damn near completely bankrupted Square Enix. They were ready to go under. They needed a miracle and they found it in Yoshi P. And Yoshi P looked at Final Fantasy XIV Online and went, fucking throw that away. Scrap it. And so they did. They threw it away in like a risky ass move and said, we're going to do this over again. We're going to do it right. And they released Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn. And they even made a cinematic of Final Fantasy XIV Online ending and A Realm Reborn beginning. And that is what this is. So... Oh, that looks bad. This is a great time for a war, guys. Oh, you're dead. Magitech. Good job. It's our boy. He's got a big old axe now. Jesus. What's in the ball? Is that a sword? Yeah, it is actually. Must have been the Lalafell on the quest we said not to go to. Yeah, probably. Oh. Do you think he's here to help? Maybe not. He's here to help himself. What's up, Bahamut? How are you doing? Oh man, you are that's a whole lot of destruction. Oh well, that city's gone. Hey! Welcome in, Raiders. We're witnessing the end of Final Fantasy XIV. This is when Final Fantasy XIV Online shut down to be started over from scratch as Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn. And this is the cinematic that they played, showcasing the world being destroyed. Hope you enjoyed some more Nancy Drew Minimal. You remember this, Lexan? Were you playing back then? I've barely played Final Fantasy XIV. We're gonna start our journey this coming Saturday. They're trying to reseal Bahamut. It did not work. Hello, Tammy Cutie. Welcome in, Raiders. Hi, little one. Hi, Stutter. It's good to see you. Mother of Badass. Hope. In and of. Miss Jenya. I hope you're all well. You were big into Final Fantasy 11, so my guild was got to go to Final Fantasy 14. But Final Fantasy 14 was just so bad, we all went back to 11. Right. It almost bankrupted the company, but A Realm Reborn saved it. Camera, yo, hey, focus here. Focus up, bud. Focus. This footage is so epic. Final Fantasy always has epic cinematics. And then this is showcasing the new world. Might be the lighting off my hat. Oh yeah, it could be. It's all shiny. Odin? Hello? What are you doing just wandering through the woods, bro? never got into Final Fantasy, there's never a better time to start. Let me know what kind of games you're interested in. I can tell you which one you should try first. I have played almost all of them. He just wanders around in the game too. You're just like, all right, well, I'm gonna go on this quest. Oh, hi, Odin. Bye. And there's our guys that were saved from the old world and brought to the new one. Like, how the hell did we get here? Welcome in, Effector Orange. Effector Orange. I'm so good at reading. Effector of Change. It's all about the chocobos. Bo, 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 chocobo. Neat. All right, we have one more here, which is the actual launch trailer for A Realm Reborn. Because that was all pretty cinematics, right? But the idea now is that there's probably going to be some gameplay, I think, in this one. We'll find out. Did you hear that there's a free trial of Final Fantasy XIV now? It includes the entirety of Realm Reborn as well as the award-winning expansion Heavensward. You can play up to level 60 for free with no restrictions on playtime. Isn't there also supposed to be the world like critically acclaimed MMORPG in there somewhere? Did you hear about the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV? Tammy, there's a copy pasta about the free trial that exists for Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, because you can play a massive amount of Final Fantasy XIV without needing to pay them any money. You can play a ton of it.
My name is Kan-E Senna, and it is my solemn charge to watch.
Kan-E Senna? I don't think that that's your name. Isn't your name like Millennia or something like that? Minfilia?
We are graced this day by the presence of a hero to Ul'dah.
Brave souls are few and far between in these times.
This is, it's crazy because I've seen some of the game today, right? This is all footage from over 10 years ago. The game looks similar, but definitely significantly has had updates in the last 10 years.
Heed well her words, adventurer, for it is Hydaelyn herself who speaks.
You lose your house if you don't log in every 45 days, Lexan? With the price that houses are, that's bullshit.
Riddled with false gods. Twice now it has eluded the Empire's grasp.
You can drop it here, Effector of Change.
And for this failure, the realm has sunk deeper.
Hey, we saw you do that with the other cinematics. It didn't work out very well for you. I don't recommend. I don't recommend it. Oh, you're okay. Housing is like a hot issue in the game. They keep promising a solution, but none is in sight. It's because there's like actual limited amounts of housing because like you have to have a plot of land on a land server. Magitech's cool, but it always works for the bad guys. There's Minfilia. I don't know who that other person was.
Had the sensation of being pulled away from reality.
I'm gonna learn why so many people don't like her.
Remembrance will yield no remedy.
Isn't your name like Alphanod? No, a lot of people like you.
Why do you not tremble at my might? Why do you not beg for mercy? Why do you not die?
Sid, my boy, you look well for one who was forsaken.
You sounded so disappointed.
I wonder what else you will forsake before the
That is one Sid-ass looking Sid. That looks safe.
The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds.
Safe. It's a fighters guild, not a fighters union. I was more concerned about the dude that was standing on the side of the airship looking tower pillar thing, okay? He was just hanging out on like a little cliff's edge, and it definitely did not look like a good idea, okay? I don't even know if I can easily find it. Yeah, it's right here. This dude is just standing here, and this thing is flying through the sky. There's not a guardrail, nothing. One strong gust, and this dude is just dead forever. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, so that's A Realm Reborn. That is only the trailers for 1.0 and 2.0. I know that they do big trailers for all of their major patches, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 3.1, 3.2, and so on. I didn't grab those because I don't know if I need to watch them yet. I do intend to watch them and put up a video onto the channel for when we do get to that content, but I just don't know enough about how this content works to know if I should have watched them now or if I can watch them later. But we will be again on this Saturday, July 1st, beginning our journey in Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. Our target is to get through the main story quest in 5 days. I don't know if we can, but we're gonna do our bestesses, okay? We're gonna try. I know that there is a lot of content into this game, and I'm gonna do my best to not get distracted because I know a lot of people have talked about how good the story is in Final Fantasy XIV. But given that it is an MMO, there's so many things that want your time and attention to these games. So I'm going to be trying to focus on primarily the main story quests. And people have also told me to do like the blue checkmark quests, I think is what they're called, because they are feature unlocks. But we'll see how far we are able to get. And we will continue to do this intermittently when I'm able to find the days in the months here and there, because I want to do them in these big chunks. So that is what we are looking at currently. I will hope to see you on Saturday. But let me know what your thoughts are. As like Lexon was in here back during the day, got to see when Final Fantasy XI back before it became A Realm Reborn. If that's you, I'd love to hear from you what your experience has been if you stuck through it, because I know there's a lot of people that like watched the end of Final Fantasy XI, like they were logged in ready for the world to be destroyed, which is kind of cool and crazy at the same time, right? Or if you're somebody that got into it in the time since, and then also if you just, or if it's kind of your first time seeing Final Fantasy XIV, because you could be, maybe you're today's one of lucky 10,000. Let me know. Anyway, put your thoughts down in the comments below. If you can't tell, I like to talk, and I'd love to talk some more. If you want to talk with me, and two great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. Hit me up and let's have a conversation. Much like the conversation we've been having with chat, because this video was recorded live on Twitch, where we stream 4 days a week outside of special occasions, such as this Final Fantasy XIV stream. And I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, go ahead. Those are the places to do so. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. That's a good face for the thumbnail. Okay, let me greet everybody properly. Hello, Raiders. I believe I have said hello to most of you at this point in time. My name is Schwan. I'm a hyper variety streamer. I currently stream 4 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. But these last few days, I've been streaming every single day because we've been playing Final Fantasy 16. And next week, we'll be playing Final Fantasy 14. I'm a big freaking nerd. If you can't tell, giant nerdaroonie up in here. That's me. Big old nerd. Love you, my Uri. Anyway, so yeah, just keep that in mind. That's what's up. That's what's happening. I do production day on Sunday, which is today, where we record the raw footage that gets put up on the YouTube channel, or at least some of it. Some of it I do record off stream, but a good healthy portion of it I do record on stream, and that's what's going on right now. This will be chopped up and edited and put onto YouTube. Not this part specifically, but like the other stuff that we've been talking about. You came in the middle of a react, which, speaking of, Maddie, thank you so much for bringing your community over here. I hope that you're doing well. Makes me wonder if my EverQuest 2 house is okay. That shit was huge and filled with floaty, sparkly light, friends. Probably because I'm not aware of any other game having the type of housing issues that Final Fantasy XIV has. Because like Lexon just said earlier, the game has like 10 million active players, but only about 200,000 houses to buy. The houses are literally like in the world and take up space. So only particular people get to have houses. Like, there's literally a housing shortage in a digital game because they refuse to make more digital plots available for fucking reasons that nobody understands. Anyway, so yeah, housing is extremely rare and extremely expensive, and if you own a house or an apartment, because you can buy an apartment in Final Fantasy 14, you are one of the fortunate ones. You don't need a house. You don't need one. But, of course, if you're playing a game a lot, you want one. Yeah. There's absolutely nothing on your person, especially not on your head, that would lead me to believe you're a nerd. No, definitely not. Absolutely not. I don't even know what this says. Can someone translate? I don't know how to read. So it's really hard for me to know, you know, because, like, for all I know, it just says, like, cool guy, right? I'm pretty sure that's what that says. Okay, this is probably going to be last, everybody, because we should be able to get through the last 2 reaction videos before this battle is done. Anyway, I literally just used my house for farming, but like growing basic carrots, I made 15 mil. If you just happen to have a house, you get such an advantage, it's unfair. Well, I probably won't ever end up with a house in Final Fantasy 14 because I'm going to try to avoid putting too much of my time and life into it beyond the story streams, because that's really what I want to focus on. I have played enough MMOs in my life that I know that I don't need to put more time into MMOs. I have a lot of other games that I want to play and a lot of other stuff I want to do, and MMOs can devour your entire life. Ask me how I know. Nero, isn't he the guy with the fiddle? No, Nero's a guy from Final Fantasy 7. But yeah, Tammy Cutie, if you're still in here, if you wanted any suggestions on Final Fantasy games, just let me know. Let me know what kind of other games you like, and I will be happy to make you a recommendation on which Final Fantasy game you might try out first. It doesn't necessarily have to be Final Fantasy 14. You could literally pick almost any game outside of like 3. And I can tell you a good place to probably like to try out, right? Like it's probably a good place to start. I have played almost all of them. I am a very, very huge fan of Final Fantasy as a franchise. And so I'm very happy to help people be introduced to the franchise as well. You like Kingdom Hearts. Okay. What is it that you like about Kingdom Hearts? That is the first follow-up question to that. Do you like the combat? Do you like the story? Do you like the characters? Because those are 3 very different aspects of it. They keep saying there's a solution coming, but it's always an excuse. First it was PS3 limitations, then it was COVID chip shortage, and now it's internal coding issues. You know, I think instead it is that they like the housing shortage. For some reason, some people are obsessed with there being this like online economy that is just borked in these freaking online games. Not sure why. They definitely are a thing. I do love the combat. I love Disney. Okay, I can't get you Disney because Disney's only in Kingdom Hearts. There are Final Fantasy characters in Kingdom Hearts, but there are no Disney characters in Final Fantasy. But what I can say is that if you have a PlayStation 4, a PlayStation 5, or a mid-tier computer, you would probably actually be you'd be served pretty well with Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay? You already know who Cloud and Aerith are from them being in Kingdom Hearts. And those are characters from Final Fantasy VII. But I don't recommend playing the original Final Fantasy VII. If you like Kingdom Hearts' combat, play Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and on PC. And you would need not a great PC, but you couldn't quite run it on PC with a bottom tier one. You need a mid tier, like at least like probably like a 1080 graphics card, 2070-ish, if that comes across okay. But yeah, if you wanted a good introduction to Final Fantasy, and I don't just say that because Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorites, but because you'll know a couple of the characters, and Final Fantasy VII Remake's combat is going to be the closest that you get to Kingdom Hearts. It helps that it's the same dude making both games. Tetsuya Nomura, who is the guy who makes Kingdom Hearts, is the same dude that made Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, yeah, that's going to help a lot. That would be my number one suggestion then, based on just saying that you like Kingdom Hearts. You're going to love Final Fantasy 14 if you're Final Fantasy nut. There's a lot of references to the older games. It's amazing. Good to know. I played it a little bit. I got a gladiator to level like 30 or something like that. But I got really distracted with all the side content. Like I leveled like 5 or 6 other classes up to like level 10 or 15. And we had somebody in the community that really hurt my experience as well as Athena's experience. And it's actually largely the reason that we quit playing Final Fantasy 14 because they were just a little too much is how I will phrase it. They were just a little too much. Thank you for the follow, by the way, everybody. Mother of Badass, Effector of Change, 4K Specialist. Thank you so much for the follows. Okay. Everybody, if you drop in an emote into the chat, if you have BTTV, you can use this YouTube Swan. You can use any emote you want. It could be from my channel, your channel, or anyone else's. It's just a way to say hi to the new YouTube video, move chat along and stuff. And we're going to go and get started on another one. We have 2 more videos that I would like to record today. And then I need to edit one of them so they can go live tomorrow morning. Because we have managed to do a YouTube video every single day for almost the last year. We are about a week away from hitting that. I think it's July 6th is the day that marks 1 year of daily YouTube videos with no misses. And I'm trying my damnedest to still not miss. All right, let's do this. Oh, and Athena just provided the Vods channel. All of my past streams are on that channel, outside of some in the last, like, couple weeks. But otherwise, you got like 600 Vods worth of past streams dating back all the way to 2019 on that channel. Took forever to get that shit on there. All right, here we go. All right. Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwan, and today we are checking out the Starter Guide series for Final Fantasy XIV Online: A Realm Reborn. Now, if you watched our video yesterday, the reason we're watching this is because this Saturday, July 1st, I am beginning my journey into Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to be spending about 8 hours a day for 5 days, 40 hours to try and get through as much of the main story quest in Final Fantasy XIV that we can. The entire thing is going to be streamed on my Twitch channel, link in the description down below the like button. Now, I have played a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV, just a little bit. And so I've also played a lot of MMOs in my life, so I'm not going in like super baby cakes over here. But Square Enix made this entire starter series. It's a 7-part series. All of these videos are fairly short. They're all like 2.5 minutes long. And it's just meant to be, I feel like, an introduction to Final Fantasy XIV. I was like, well, even if I have a little bit of experience in the game itself and experience in MMOs, I thought it'd be really cool to see what the starter guide is and see what it tells us and what it tells people that might be completely new to the franchise of Final Fantasy, new to MMOs, or just new to A Realm Reborn. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to check this out. So let's get started.
Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV Online. I'm Mayra, a scholar and one of millions of players adventuring through the ever-expanding world of Eorzea. In this series, I'll be introducing you to some early tips to help you get the most out of your adventure.
Cool.
From character creation and basic game mechanics to
Shit,
dungeons,
character
boss
creation.
battles,
Fuck.
and more.
I think that
And
took
it
me like an
just
hour
so
and a half
happens
last
I've got
time.
a friend eager to start his adventure today as well. Let's recruit him, shall we?
Oh, all right. Thanks for the invite, Mayra.
Hi there, Kaz. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Yes! I keep hearing about it, and I had to try it for myself. You're the pro, though, so, you know, what am I getting into?
You've come to the right
More
scholar.
than you can
Let me show
handle.
ya. Final Fantasy XIV Online is the critically acclaimed online RPG where you embark on the journey of a lifetime and
There's that copy
reforge
pasta.
the fate of Eorzea. Though it is the 14th entry in the Final Fantasy series, it has a self-contained story with its unique universe and lore. So if this is your first Final Fantasy, welcome. This is the perfect place to start. The best part is, it's constantly expanding. So whether you're playing solo at your own pace through the main storyline, or you join other players to explore this world together, you'll always find a new, exciting adventure waiting for you. Basically, it's a heck of a lot of fun.
Oh, let's do this! Man, what the?
Well, you could go now, but if you spare a few minutes with me, I can offer some useful tips to make your adventure even better.
I'm ready.
Help me become the adventurer of my dreams?
You need to randomize like a boss to get done in 5 days, or just do it ahead of time or something, right? Like something like that. We will need to try to take some thoughts into mind about character creation, because I do think I spent like an hour and a half the first time I made a character in Final Fantasy 14. And think of a name. I can already think of some. Final Fantasy 14 is normally a little bit easier to get a name because you need a first name and a last name. And so there's a lot more variance involved. So hopefully the name won't be too bad, but I can be a stickler when it comes to character. Hair doesn't matter. You can cut it later. Okay.
Okay. Oh, love those ears.
Oh, a Makote, huh?
You bet. Now to pick my class. I love the look of the gladiator. It's just a shame I'll never learn how to be an archer.
Well, that's the beauty of Final Fantasy 14 Online.
This is
Your
seriously
character
one of the
can actually
coolest
play
parts of this
every
fucking game.
class in the game. Classes are split into 3 roles. Tanks, who hold the enemy's
You can just
attention
play all
and
the
soak up
classes
their
as one
attacks.
character. You don't
There
got to
are damage
re-roll. You
dealing
don't got to
or
have
DPS
alts.
classes
Just all the same
who take
character.
down enemies as quickly as possible. And healers, who, well, heal the party. You choose your starting class now, but once you reach level 10, you can unlock and change to other classes whenever you like. Also, your character's gender, race, patron deity, or date of birth won't limit any major aspects of your gameplay. And you'll even have the option to change your appearance later in the game. So don't worry too much and just create a character that you like.
That is amazing. I'm gonna start as an archer. No, arcanist. No, lancer. An enemy.
That dude straight up turned
Gladiator
himself
sounds
into
great.
a cat
Can't
girl,
wait to try
like
the
so
others
many
later.
people
Let's
wish
do
they
this.
could.
Yeah, no big deal. Got 12 XP.
You can earn much more experience while enjoying the story. Let me show you how it's done. If you want to succeed, learn to read the map. Fewer random enemies, more main scenario quests or MSQs. These are the quests you follow to experience the main story. By completing them, you'll
That's
earn
gonna
some
be our
fantastic
focus.
rewards and level up much faster. You'll also have the option to follow loads of side quests. These won't impact your main story, but they will help you explore the world and earn gil, experience, and other rewards.
Oh, I'd love to check out my first MSQ.
Great! Then let's get you to the Adventurers Guild. That's
I read that
Modi.
as falafel.
See the meteor icon above her head? That's how you know you should talk to her for your MSQ objective, which will be updated in your main scenario guide as you progress, here on the upper left. Keep a lookout for those icons, as well as other quest types. And you can always access your journal to keep
I will
track of the quests
probably
you've accepted and
pick some
completed.
sort of tank for dungeon purposes.
Right. MSQ. Earn great XP. Got it. Max level, here I come.
The map.
Oh, follow the map. That thing is pretty useful.
Yeah, for the sake of like, if I believe there's a dungeon finder in Final Fantasy 14, and if you are a tank or a healer, you always get faster queue times. So I'll probably pick a tank because that's a more reliable class, especially for leveling. All right, we got more. We got more.
Hey, Kaz. How are your main scenario quests coming along?
Great. Completed a few, gained a few levels. No big deal. But I was wondering about that thing under my main scenario quest.
Oh, under your MSQ? That's your class quest. When you join a class's guild, you'll get special quests featuring unique storylines, which will help you earn some awesome abilities and gear. Eorzea has guilds for each class, and you can unlock other classes by visiting the guilds in each of the 3 starting cities after reaching level 10. If you want to become a master of different classes, you're welcome to join up and see what each has to offer. For now, let's take a look at your Gladiator class quest. If you're not sure what to do, you can always reference your main scenario guide. Whenever you're able to undertake a new class quest, they will show up here under your next MSQ, so be sure to keep an eye out.
Andy.
Let's see what's next.
Oh, right, the Gladiators Guild. Now these are my kind of fighters. Let me talk to the leader to see how to complete my class quest.
She looks like she could beat your ass.
Looks like Mila.
So it really
wants to
separates
test
this
you.
game from other
Ready to
MMOs.
slay
Freely
some
changing classes
monsters?
with no penalty. It's really cool.
Born ready.
Okay, first let's review the objectives in your journal. All set? Then let's show them what you've got. You did it! Now we can go back to Mila to complete your quest.
Huh? What's that?
Uh-oh. No, my guy. No, you'll never complete the main story that way.
Oh, that player's participating in a full active time event.
Oh, okay. So what is that?
Full active time events, or fates, are dynamic battles
Love
that
those
appear
little
around
soot balls.
Eorzea. They can be boss battles, escort missions, or other events, and help you earn some great rewards. These aren't tied to the main scenario, but are fun, optional content that you'll encounter out in the open world. You can gauge the fate level here, the time left, and the progress. Any nearby player can join a fate, and higher level players need to temporarily sync their level to the fate to join. This fate is at a perfect level for you though, so if you want to join, simply enter the fate radius on your map.
Nope. Guy.
Let's do this.
Is there not fall damage in this game?
Ooh, better sync my level so I can help him out.
Oh, no.
Nice! You got a gold medal for your contribution and earned a lot of experience. Pretty good for your first time. You'll come across loads of fates as
Poor
you
little
progress
dust
through
bunnies,
your
I know.
MSQs in the open world. So keep a lookout
They're
for
just
other
trying to
exciting
carry their
challenges.
rocks around.
Oh, another one. Let's go.
Wait, that one's level 20. Oh, yikes. I'll just go ahead and get a resurrection ready.
I regret this.
We got more. Hall of the Novice.
Ugh, he's still wearing that thing.
Oh, thanks. Just taking a nap.
Yeah,
Let's
recuperating.
check your inventory.
Hey.
First things first, let's get you organized. Just click an item, select sort, and voila, nice and tidy.
Is that any better? It's still full.
You got a wayward hatchling minion. Just select him and you can have a chocobo chick of your very own to accompany you.
Oh, look, it's your
I
inventory.
name him Harold. How does that sound, Harold?
You seem like a good team.
I would die for him.
Let's bring up your character menu and take a look at the gear in your armory chest. If you're not sure what to equip, click recommended gear to automatically equip your best items.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Recommended gear and... Oh, wow.
Yeah, not ideal.
I look awful.
Here, I've got a better idea.
I don't see how you could beat this outfit, but okay.
Let's find better gear, and while we're at it, teach you how to win.
I'm a level 15. I think I know a thing or two about winning.
Then that's the perfect level to begin the Hall of the Novice. Welcome to the Hall of the Novice. Here you can learn the ropes for your class and earn some awesome gear. You can find a Hall of the Novice NPC located in the Adventurers Guild for your starting city. Just
Neat.
look for the green and gold sapling symbol above their head after you reach level 15. There are unique challenges and rewards in the Hall of the Novice for all 3 roles: tank, DPS, and healer. So if you change classes later, don't forget to come back for some training. You ready to give one a shot?
Cue the music. All right, let's see what this is all about.
Damn it, he does squats like Zach.
Seriously? One enemy? Oh, easy peasy. Ow! Oh, I get it. Avoid those.
There you go. Ready for a few more?
Okay, let's do this.
We'll also practice
Yeah, the
engaging
rowing
multiple
squat.
targets,
Why?
using
Don't
a
know.
ranged attack, and using combo attacks. Bravo! Now for the final exercise. Keep it up. Only one enemy left.
Oh my goodness.
Well, if it's anything like the others.
Ew.
Just remember what you've learned.
The little baby Chocobo is so proud of you. See, he's so proud of you. That's how you sell copies of games, with baby Chocobos.
Sweet. This ring helps me gain XP faster.
Nice work. Now let's check out your brand new gear. Now you look more like a warrior of light.
Yeah.
There's still a lot to learn and discover, and we've got a ways to go to get you there.
Oh my goodness.
Meant to do that.
Oh, we still got, I think, 3 more? Yeah, 3 more. I would also do better in life with a baby Chocobo, believe me. I would do so. I would do great.
4.
Look at him. He's helping with push-ups.
999. 1,000.
What's going on here?
Yeah, we're just buffing up to prepare for some pretty major MSQs.
Well, seems like you've made a lot of progress in the story through your main scenario quests. Now, how about we take what you've learned at Hall of the Novice and try out your first dungeon?
Oh, love that. All right, Harold, you are my everything.
Well, that warms my heart. Let's head over to the dungeon entrance. Now, to tackle a dungeon, we'll need 4 adventurers.
But look, I'm a lone wolf, all right? I fly solo.
Trust me, learning to be a team player in Final Fantasy XIV will be well worth it. Just use the Duty Finder to begin automatically searching for a party.
See?
Select Duty here, then Duty Finder to pull up the tab. This is your first time, so you have the Dungeon Sestasha unlocked. Let's select it and wait until a party is ready to join. As you progress, more dungeons will become available.
You normally get faster
each ready to be
queues if you
explored
are
by
a tank or a
hotshot
healer,
party of
because they're in higher
adventurers.
demand.
You can use your Duty Finder to play with your friends, or to form a party with available players, like we are now. Or try the Duty Support System to play with a group of NPCs. Each party member brings important skills from their role. There are damage
Interesting.
dealing or DPS classes, who take down enemies as quickly as possible. There are tanks like you, who are built
You can
to
get
take
an
as much damage as you
NPC
throw
group
at
to
them,
do your
while keeping
dungeons?
enemies away from their party.
I mean, you still have to do your part in your role, but that changes things completely. I had no idea that was a thing either.
Time to shine.
Means you can just play completely solo. That's cool. I assume the NPCs don't fuck up. That would suck. That would suck a lot.
Looks like we have a Black Mage and a Dragoon joining as our DPS players. Remember, Kaz, as a tank, your job is to divert the enemy's attention and soak up their
NPC
attacks.
crew is newer.
That way the healer,
Also, your
yours
Chocobo can
truly,
become an
can
NPC
hang
for
back
you and
and
be
keep
either a tank,
everyone
healer, or
alive,
fighter, so you can
while
solo
our
most of the
Dragoon and
overworld
Black
content.
Mage use
I
their
love
skills
this.
as DPS to do some serious damage. Each of you has an important role during combat, so remember to work together. All right, Cash, show them how it's done.
You sure about this?
Yeah,
got
you'll be
it.
fine.
Provoke it to draw its attention away from us.
Okay, you got it.
The next step, Lexan, is for us to just be able to play as the Chocobo.
Reinforcements. Hold their attention while we take them down.
Oh, it worked.
Well done. When taking part in group content, any loot found in treasure coffers will be added to the loot list on the bottom right. Each character will roll either a need, greed, or pass, and the loot will be distributed automatically to the player.
I hate
who
playing
rolls
with
the
other
highest
people in
number.
MMORPGs,
If the loot's
sincerely.
designated for your class, you
It
can roll
is
need.
a necessary
Greed can be rolled if the
evil
loot
that I
isn't
tolerated
designated
for,
your
you know,
class, but you want a
decades.
chance to receive it
But
anyway.
the fact that Final Fantasy
Or you
14
can
is like,
pass
you
if
don't
you
have
don't
to
want the
tolerate it
item.
if you don't want to, is fucking
Let's see
wild.
what your party's earned. Whoa, you're in luck. Since the loot's designated for your class, you can roll need to claim them. Looks like someone isn't such a lone wolf after all.
Turns out life is a lot easier when you're part of a pack. Up top, Harold!
Oh my god. That's freaking adorable. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Calm down, calm down. Chill, chill. All right.
Oof, you're a little well done, huh?
We may have rushed into a trial a
Hang on, I gotta make sure I got the right one here. Yeah, I do, okay.
bit too quickly, but we're about to try again. It's fine.
Wow, taking on bosses with a group already? Well, luckily, I have plenty of advice for just such an occasion.
Oh, don't worry. We've got a plan.
Can you
do mind opening
NPC
up that
group
portal
the
thing you're always opening?
raids?
Oh, very exciting.
We take on effort in the Bowl of Embers. Me, the White Mage, the Ninja, and the Summoner.
So the raids are more than
We rushed in
4.
last time, but now we know what to do.
No,
like the
anything
dungeons,
that's 8
each
players
of
or
us
more
has
needs
an
real
important
people.
role to
Okay,
play.
okay, that makes
As
sense.
the tank,
I would have been
hold Ifrit's
amazed.
attention to soak up as much damage as I can, while our DPS members chip away at his health, building up the limit break to deal a final blow. That way, the White Mage can stay out of harm's way and keep us alive. Last time, we thought Ifrit was our main target, but we realized the infernal nail he spawns is our key to victory.
Oh, smart thinking. Trials vary greatly, each with their own mechanics, which require a keen eye.
Then, I hold his attention while the team avoids his new area of effect attacks.
Dodging AoEs?
That did not look
Very
like you
impressive.
dodged that for shit, but okay.
Over the course of the battle, the shared limit break gauge for the party has been filling up. We didn't notice it last time, but now we're ready. Once the limit break gauge is filled, it's the perfect time for our melee DPS, the Ninja, to use their LB and take the boss down with an ultimate attack.
They just summoned the fucking Buster Sword. What the hell?
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some adventuring to do.
A few quests later.
Looks like your exploits have drawn some attention, and you've been invited to join a grand company of your choice. Either the Immortal Flames in Ul'dah, the Twin Adders in Gridania, or the Maelstrom in Limsa Lominsa. Grand companies are a great way to further customize your character, unlocking unique gear, special items, and even the ability to ride mounts. On that note, you might want to check out that special quest.
Yeah, that's the blue
Chocobo Mount?
exclamation
Here I
point
come.
quest that I was talking about.
I've never been more proud.
The people said,
And
oh my
look,
god.
your first mount.
Yep, meet Gerald. He's Harold's new big brother. Say hi, Gerald. Whoa, back soon, Harold!
So, what's living in an egg like?
I don't know. I don't know. Live in an egg. Like, what's being a bunny like?
My little tank has hit level 30 and already unlocked his first job? Come on, Mayra, don't cry. You promised.
I couldn't have done it without you.
Well, it only gets better from here.
I have heard that Final Fantasy 14 just gets better the more you play it.
Whoa, how do I get one?
Same way I did, by recruiting your friends.
Really? Okay, Gaz. Now you don't cry.
You've
I don't have any
come
friends.
So far. You created a character and started your path on the
I have to
MSQ,
recruit friends?
battled in
Why do you
fates,
think I summoned the
and earned
NPC
fantastic
group?
loot in dungeons and
I don't have
trials
any
using the Duty
friends.
Finder. And you only just started. The whole world world of
Why else would he
Final
be
Fantasy
crying?
14 Online is still ahead of you.
You can get this cool bird by recruiting a friend.
Or unlock
Fuck.
other classes for a completely different approach to the game. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's chocobo racing and mini games at the Gold Saucer. You can learn to craft your own weapons, potions,
Don't let me
and
go to the
armor
Gold
as a
Saucer.
disciple of the hand. Oh, and
This
you haven't
weekend,
even seen
don't
much
let
of
me
the
go to the
world
Gold
yet,
Saucer.
like or and then you get to join the of the and fight the old and La. And the story, the lore. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it is quite the ride. Oh, speaking of which...
Yes, please. Okay, just one quick ride. I'll be right back, you two.
Don't worry, they'll snap out of it soon enough. Hold on tight.
That was so cute.
When am I going to get to Heaven's Ward?
One step at a time, big guy.
Oh, man, I can't wait to recruit a friend. And I saw there's a side quest where I have to deliver cookies. Are those cookies up for grabs or what?
I'm just going to assume she's saying dirty things. Are you assuming that because you think she might be or because you want her to be saying dirty things? All right, so that was the starter's guide for Final Fantasy 14. That was really, really cute. Like, that was super pleasant. I enjoyed that. It was way, like, it's definitely a very quick summary, and that's okay. But yeah, that was cute. A lot of that info was good info. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was also very comforting info of like, same thing from like you as well, Lex, and of like stuff that we can expect and stuff like that. But that was cool. I really like that a lot. I think that's a very appealing little mini series that people should watch if they aren't sure yet on if they're going to play Final Fantasy 14 online, because that was just like a really good, cute introduction that really showed off just a lot of aspects of things that you might be interested in or not. Yeah, so I will have to figure out how I'm approaching the very beginning of things, because I'll probably do some research and pick a class, like with the idea of that you can duty find into NPC groups. I don't know if those NPC groups are good or not, but it means that you wouldn't have to play a tank, but then you still might want to for the sake of the 8-player plus groups for like actual raids and stuff, because I do want to do those. I know not all of the raids are part of the main story quest, but I really enjoy raids in general. They're really cool. They have really cool environments, and sometimes they got really cool enemies, and sometimes those enemies are relevant to the story without needing to actually be part of the main story. So I would like to do them if I am not required to do so, but we'll approach that bridge when it comes to it. But being a tank or a healer normally benefits in doing those aspects. At least it does in other MMOs. Who knows when it comes to Final Fantasy 14? I could just be completely wrong, but we'll find out as we get there. So again, I know I've already said it a couple times. This Saturday, July 1st, I'm starting this journey. We're going to try and get through as much of Final Fantasy 14 story as we can, with the hope to get through the A Realm Reborn story. Not necessarily its patches or even touching on Heaven's Ward, just getting through the main story quest of the original A Realm Reborn. That's our hope anyway. So that was the Starter's Guide series. I enjoyed that a lot, but I do need to figure out character stuff beforehand, because that would eat a lot of time. So we'll worry about that another day. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. If you are a veteran of Final Fantasy 14 Online, I'd love to hear from you. If you have never played it, let me know how this starter guide treats you if you are interested in it at this point in time. I'd love to hear from you. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you can't tell, I like to talk, and I'd love to talk some more. If you want to talk with me, and two great places to do so are Discord and Twitter, both of which I am active on all the time. So hit me up and let's have a conversation, much like the conversation we've been having with chat, because this video was recorded live on stream, where we stream 4 days a week, and I'd love to see you there. And that Final Fantasy 14 playthrough is going to be all on stream as well, but it'll also be on the Vods channel if that's what you want to see, where you want to watch it as well. Whatever fits your fancy, I got options for you. Which, if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. Wrong screen. The starter guy was cute. It was super cute. I enjoyed that. All right. Not too cheese, but just the right amount of cheese. It's true. All right, I technically needed to do one more, but I don't want to. It's 11:30. We're not going to run another Stream Raiders battle. I do need another YouTube video for the next week. I will figure that out another time. I will figure that out another time, but that time is not going to be right now. So let's go see who's streaming, and we will figure out where we're going on the raid. Thank you again to Minimal Gameplay for raiding us. Not enough to change my mind about playing, but very cute and had a lot of good info for beginners. Yeah, I totally understand not wanting to deal with other people, but I do know that there was a patch relatively recently that was designed to try to make the game more approachable for people that aren't like super into MMOs. And in MMOs, that was more of the focus on it, was the idea of trying to allow for a more single player experience. I don't know how successful that was, but it sounds like it was more than I expected. Hey, speaking of Final Fantasy 16, Rio is playing it right now. Let me see. You know what? Shay is streaming. I haven't raided Shay in some time. We'll go raid Shay. All right, everyone. Raid Shay. It started. These are my socials, everyone. If you would please drop me a follow on Twitter. Join the Discord. I'm very active on both, like I said, and I'd love to talk to you. That's the YouTube channel. If you wow, I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. Anyway, yeah, there's the YouTube channel. There's the Vods channel. Go and check them out. Athena just dropped in the raid message. If you're not a subscriber, you can unlock that raid swan by using 100 channel points. Hit the swan coin below chat. It's available for 24 hours, including on other people's channels, so you can use it on the raid. I'm going to let the credits roll. I appreciate all of you very much. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the resub. Thank you for the raids. Let's go wish Shay well. They are currently playing Aliens Dark Descent. And I will see you tomorrow morning for more Final Fantasy 16, because we're gonna be pushing through the rest of that game tomorrow and Tuesday. And then I probably won't stream again until Saturday when it's time to play Final Fantasy 14, because, yeah, I'm going to want to break. All right, let's go.